Hello and welcome to this video about the new 1.3 update for DVZmate. This update has been in the making for multiple months now and we are so excited to finally share it with you. In this video I want to have a quick look at the main changes and new features of this update. Some of the features are quite extensive, so there will be more in-depth videos coming in the next weeks to really get into the details. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Now, let's get started. One of the biggest new features is the transposer scale lock. Every transposer now has the option to lock to a specific global scale. If you activate the scale lock, instead of transposing by half steps as the transposer usually would, it transposes the incoming notes by a number of scale degrees within the selected scale. So to demonstrate, if I play a C here and transpose it up with the scale lock deactivated, each value here is a half step. So the incoming note will be transposed chromatically. Now, if I lock the transposer to a C major scale and do the same, transposing by single steps will move my note input along the C major scale. This scale is a global setting, so you can activate the scale lock on other transposers and transpose instruments differently along the same scale. This way you can build chords and voicings across the ensemble that shift and follow your playing diatonically. I can't even begin to tell you how powerful this is with a well-balanced template. Here's a simple example playing only one note at a time on the keyboard. You can choose from a list of scales or create your own scales on the keyboard display. And there are a couple of additional twists to this that we'll have a closer look at in a dedicated video. But hopefully you're starting to see how powerful this feature can be, both for inspiration and quick results. Next we have the new Performance Manager on the Perform page. You can now save and recall different layouts of the Perform page with different presets within DVZmate. So if you have different templates or projects that you are working on, you can just create separate performances for each of them with the exact selection and organization of presets on the Perform page that you need. You can assign your most used performances to the quick load slots and access them directly on the Perform page in this drop-down menu to switch between them. The MIDI remote has been extended to incorporate these performance quick load slots and a couple of other functionalities. If DVZmate receives CC31 or program changes, the values 101 to 110 will load up the performances on the 10 quick load slots. On top of that, we introduced values to trigger the power and bypass function and change the DVZ mode. You can also export the performances, which will store the layout and all the presets assigned to the Perform page in one single file. This kind of exported performance you can then import on a different machine and have all the presets and the layout immediately available without any hassle. That's not only useful for working on multiple machines, but also for sharing templates and presets with other musicians. Each performance can also have a default preset. You can navigate to the preset menu on the Orchestrate page and save the current preset as default, or just right-click on a pad on the Perform page to access this option. DVZmate will then automatically open with this particular preset whenever this performance is loaded. This is also true when you go from one performance to another. It will always load the corresponding default preset of the performance when you switch or reload the performance. Here's one feature that has been requested a lot. You can now drag and drop presets on the Perform page and reorder the pads to your liking. When you click and drag on a pad, it will take a short moment to go into the drag and drop mode, and then you can just move it around. You can also hold Ctrl on Windows or Command on Mac to drag and drop without any delay. If you move a preset to a pad that already has a preset assigned, you can decide whether you want to replace the preset or have the preset swap position. Next up, we have the repeater tempo sync. You can now send MIDI clock from your DAW to the Divisimate loopback port and this way sync the tempo of the repeater to your DAW tempo. This way, the rhythms generated by repeater plugins will be following any tempo changes in your project. The external sync button is a global control, so if you activate it on any repeater plugin in an orchestration, all the other plugins will automatically switch too. While we were working on the repeater, we also improved the way multiple repeaters in the same orchestration play together to keep a steady and tidy pulse at all times. A small change, but a huge time saver. When you open up Divisimate 1.3 for the first time, it will automatically convert your presets to a new preset format. There is an automatic backup of the old files, so don't panic. But one of the advantages this brings is that presets can now be loaded directly from the Explorer or Finder. Just double-click on the preset file or drag it into the Divisimate window and you can immediately play the preset. Also, you can now move presets around between your folders without losing their position on the Perform page. The whole system is just a bit more robust and flexible now. With the 1.3 update, Divisimate also now supports MPE input. MPE stands for MIDI Polyphonic Expression. If you're using an MPE controller which is sending individual controller data for every single note, that data is sent through along with the note on the specific voice. So if you bend a specific note on your MPE controller and that note is being routed to an instrument, only that instrument will get those pitch bend messages. Divisimate is currently only supporting lower zone MPE with channel 1 as the global channel, so keep that in mind as you set up your MPE controller. And finally, with this update, Divisimate has native ARM support, so it will run reliably without Rosetta on Big Sur and Apple Silicon. So there we go. Those are the larger changes and new features in Divisimate 1.3. There are more smaller improvements and you can see all of them in the full changelog under the link in the video description. 1.3 is a free update for every owner of Divisimate and of course all new users now will get the newest version right away. So that's it for this video, thank you all for watching and I hope you enjoyed this update.